Hello, everyone. Name is Pai Wang, and I'm assistant professor in mechanical engineering. And I'm here to give you a very quick, brief overview of the research we do in our solid mechanics division or group. So what I'm going to do is basically to cover what we have, some information for you very quickly. And since we have only a small number of people here, so if you have question, you can shout out, or maybe after the presentation, you can also ask very specific questions to me. I will try to answer them. And if you have anything that you want me to answer, please let me know at any time. All right, you can type in the chat, and you can just shout out to me as well. So anything works, right? So if you are able to hear me and see my screen share, we're on the first slide that give us an overview of what our division does. So we have research in composite material, computational and failure mechanics, and some biomechanics as well. And not only soft tissue, actually, we also have bone mechanics and also high strength and dynamics and vibration. And a lot of our research are actually at kind of a edge of those things, like frontier of those things, and also combination of those things. For example, my own research is a combination of computational mechanics, composite, and also dynamics of vibrations. So this is just give you an overview, and this is our list of faculty members working in our solid mechanics division. We're a very strong division, and we collaborate with each other very frequently. So, if your interest, your personal passion is also, it lies in the disciplinary area, or something that, combines different expertise that requires a different experience and different subjects, then this is also a very good place for you as well. And let me go into some specifics. So first of all, those are I give you a list of classes we offer to graduate students in the solid mechanics division. So as you can see, we have a wide range of things that you can take. And if you already have some, say, propensity or kind of a good feeling about those subjects, probably solid mechanics division or those related research would be a good choice for you for your graduate study, right? And I believe we will either post those slides afterwards online for you to download, or just send it to you afterwards. So if you need this list afterwards, you can always refer back to these slides. Okay, so this is one of the example about biomechanics. So biomechanics is more on mechanical properties or response of biological tissues. Mostly in our department, people work on human tissues and brain mechanics, skull mechanics, and bone mechanics, and all those. And some of you heard Professor Coates' presentation just now. So that's only part of it. We also have other professors working in biomechanics. So we have a very strong biomechanics division. And one of the example I'm going to give you is from Professor Claire Acevedo's group. And her group is basically working on the multi-scale modeling and simulation of bone mechanics. So basically bone fragility and bone diseases, and how do those affect your bone mechanical properties, from all the way from the cell and nanometer scale, to the macro, the whole bone scale and whole body scale. So that's her research, and if you're interested, I strongly encourage you to contact her directly. And this is more related to the head trauma research and bone injury mechanical property research in our division. And I believe Professor Coates has covered most of it in detail, so I will not give you even more detail. But again, I encourage you to contact her directly if this is something you are interested, all right? And here we have another professor's lab. It's called Integrated Multiphysics Laboratory. So here is her picture. Her name is Pania Newell. So her lab is more about material modeling and multi-scale in the sense that you have to integrate the atomistic from the very basic, even quantum mechanical level to some nano level, all the way to, say, a macroscopic level that you can feel and touch. So her lab is also heavily focused on computational side, so modeling, simulation, and multi-scale coupling techniques and things like that. And here we come to another professor's lab. So this professor's name is Jake Hockhotter, and something might be of very strong interest to you is that he's a very experienced NASA engineer before joining our department. And if you work in his lab, chances are you are going to work with a lot of real NASA engineers on the projects that's going to make a real difference in space technology for the country in the future. And here he summarizes his current focus on this slide. And my group is also working very closely with him on this, what we call machine learning models or data-driven models, that if you have some exposure to the current trends of simulation and modeling community, this is something that is very how to say, on a rising trend of the research and engineering. All right. So that's Professor Hockhotter. You can contact him directly. And this is Professor Rob Parker's group. He also gave a presentation a little bit earlier. And his group is working on gear mechanics, vibrations, and dynamic analysis. So my own group is also working very closely with him as well. So they will focus more on the gear mechanical kind of aspect and a theoretical aspect. My group is more on the simulation or finite element aspect, right? And here's another overview of one of our professor's lab that are still recruiting students. By the way, all the slides you see here, from the first one to this one, from labs that are currently actively seeking applicants. So they are recruiting students. So if you have any interest, you can reach out to them and say which exact part you are interested in, and maybe request a Zoom meeting with them, so they will get to know you better, and you will have a better chance to get into their group and have a full scholarship for your entire master or PhD. Right. So this is from Professor Ashley Sphere's group. His group, her group is also recruiting graduate student right now, and she asked me to also play you those simulation videos. So they do a lot of simulation, very large scale, big data kind of simulation to understand material properties, metal properties, and as Professor Coates mentioned, they are also working collaboratively on some bone properties and things like that. All right, so that's the end of the presentation about the groups that are recruiting students. Besides my own group, so I didn't put my own group's slides here. I can show you those after this. So let me recap. So basically, the groups are, all research directions that we actually right now need graduate student, and we will fully sponsor their graduate study, includes this soft tissue mechanics, and bone mechanics, and head trauma mechanics. So including high strain rate kind of impact analysis and material property, and also multi-scale modeling. And this is more about NASA-oriented data-driven models and computational mechanics, and also gear mechanics and vibrations. And finally, this is Professor Ashley Spear's lab, which focus on material properties and failure characterizations in either metal or bones. So that's all about our division and the groups of universities that are active, groups of research that are actually right now recruiting graduate students.